What did your parents do for a living?
They were sharecroppers, farmers. When you look back in history, sharecropping was the first thing that came after slavery. That was how the black people was able to make a living, work the fields and share the crops with the owner. Part of the agreement, you had a place to stay. My last 2 years in high school, when I was a junior senior, I was going to a school that was all black at Mark Tree. It was Carver High School. And then when I started going with the whites, it was Toronto High School. Before we started, it was rumors around coming up to the time we was going to go to school that the whites said they would burn the school down before they would let blacks go to that school. They didn't want us to go. They was actually trying to bluff us.
"19 years old, you are a Vietnam War. From what you had learned, witnessed, growing up in Arkansas, was that racial divide or that air prevalent still when you went into the military?
Yes, it was in Vietnam. When we wasn't fighting and had time to relax R&R, it was still separation. The blacks stayed together and the whites stayed together. We participated and did some things together, but whenever we got a chance, we was always separated. We was always with our own people.
Did you even feel accepted as a unit, being that you guys are separated at leisure time?
Well, the leisure time, like I said, when we were separated, it was a different atmosphere than it was when you're fighting. When you're fighting, hey, you're just trying to survive. Everybody's trying to survive, so it's just one unit. But as soon as you get a chance to relax, got some relaxation time or R&R, hey, we went back with our own people because we listened to different music and talked about different things.
Now that we're out of that era of just blatant racism, did it become harder to identify somebody as being racist, and how did you deal with it?
When I went to work for roadways, driving for roadway, I found that the whites was more apologetic when they tried to talk to you about things. Didn't want to hurt your feelings. And I want to give you an example. I worked with a guy named Greg Poe, and whenever Greg would talk to me about basically different foods that black people ate that whites didn't eat, he would always be apologetic up front. For an example, like grits. His grandfather had told him about grits and that black people ate grits, and his grandfather cooked some grits for him, and to him it had no taste. So he wanted to ask me, Jesse, how can you guys eat those grits with no taste? I said, and I had to tell him, you got to fix them up. You got to have yourself some bacon. You got to put some salt in it. You got to have some biscuits. You just don't eat the plain grits. I don't think his grandfather knew how to really fix the grits. He knew that you ate grits, but he didn't know how to make them taste right.
If Trump never got into office, do you think this would still just be an underlining issue that just never got resolved, or it at some point will come to a bubble, come to a head? Because it kind of feels like at some point it's coming to a head where we're at right now.
I think it would have stayed undercover. I don't think it would have come to a head maybe as fast. Donald Trump gave them an opportunity to show that you can be that way. Other than that, they were just undercover, just waiting like a volcano to explode. Trump was the underlining fuel under the bottom that caused them to rise to the top.
Gotcha.
But it's always been there, and it will continue to be there, I believe. I don't think it will never be resolved.
Do you think Black Americans will be able to ever come together?
No. If you go back in history, a white man named Jimmy Lynch, he written a book when we had slaves. He told the owners, I can tell you how to treat these slaves and it would last for hundreds of years. He separated us because of our difference in color and difference in hair. He divided us, and that's the way we still are, by our hair texture and the difference in the color of our skin. And we've been separated down those lines ever since. Field niggas and house niggas.